where horror lies.
Hey guys, Rob from Georgia here with you. Yet again, wasn't quite planned out like this, but then again, I didn't think we were going to go on 2 months of just a break. So I'm hoping everyone had a great Christmas, hoping everyone had a great New Year's last night. I know I did, watching my Georgia Bulldogs beat the freaking crap out of Michigan on our way to another national championship. But here we are, it's the new year, and I know Lonnie's already got his first video up. And after 2 months of just trying to get our lives back into some semblance of an order, I know we had lost my mother-in-law, and that was just a terrible wreck of a time. But I figured, I know I uploaded my last so-called video, but like a bad horror movie, I guess I thought I would just give this thing an extended run and see if I can find some sort of groove again. It is week 427, if I got that right, and it's we are back, trying to get back on track, and with a full cast, including my own son, who has now joined BodyBags, and so we'll keep our eyes on that one. But we are talking about, I figured, look, y'all know me, Italian is where I love to be, and so I figured I would, it's one of my Christmas movies that I picked up, Black Demons from Umberto Lenzi from 1991, the golden era of Italian horror cinema is done, but it's there's a few films out there that are still coming out. Lenzi's attempt at his first zombie film, Demons, really is probably a metaphor for past wrongs done. In this case, the film takes place in Brazil, I think, and we end up at a plantation where 6 slaves about 100 years prior had tried to rebel or run away, were caught, killed, and they will be sort of resurrected in a zombie sort of state, which is really sort of an interesting thing. But I picked this up part of my Christmas haul, and of course, add a few titles to the Shriek show collection. I think I'm only up to 5 now, but they are out there. You can get your hands on them, and so Lenzi, a couple years after this, of course, Della Morte Dell'Amore, or Cemetery Man, will probably be the last great Italian horror film, of course, from Michele Soavi. But this one is frustrating, man, because, well, I'll give you a few reasons why to pick this Shriek show up. If you love just Italian cinema, Italian horror cinema, you're a Lenzi fan, maybe you're a Shriek show fan in terms of the releasing, but there is a great interview on here with Lenzi, and he really sort of gets into, and it's not long, but he gets into the nuts and bolts of what went wrong on this movie. And there's a couple things, really. Just the main thing, I think, was no money, and casting became a real serious issue. He thought he had one girl in particular who was arriving on the plane, and some other girl completely different. I think it's Sonia Curtis of Family Ties fame. He was not expecting that, and I think right the moment his eyes fell on her, this project was really sort of doomed, and it's unfortunate because it's got a lot of things going for it. Lenzi's exuberance over the story, the script, pretty sure he had his hands on writing that as well, or at least he was heavily influenced it. And the location, the story, the cast he thought he was going to have. Not sure exactly what went wrong with the money, but maybe trying to do this thing in Brazil didn't help. I'm not sure. Might have been better if they just did this thing back in Rome. But he does say in the interview that had he had the cast of, say, Spasmo, he really thought this movie had potential to be an absolutely beautiful film. And when you really kind of think about this movie, basically you have a group of kids that are on vacation in Brazil, right? And one of the kids, Dick, which is funny, Joe Balogh, I think his name is Balogh. He's the only one there that Lenzi even really wants. I mean, and you can tell there's a little bit of antagonism between Joe and the rest of the main cast, and it's not just character driven. I really think he understood. Lenzi wanted him there and didn't want any of the other ones there. And so he sort of, I think in his own weird way, it fell into his character and he kind of took it out on them, which is kind of hilarious. But anyways, so he gets tired of what they've just been tourists for a couple weeks. And he's really into Mokamba, this voodoo ritual thing. And so he finally just abandons the group and looks for this. Well, you know what they say, be careful what you look for because you just might find it. And sure enough, he does. And he becomes part of this ritual. And he ends up with sort of like, I don't know, a pension, something he's given by the Witchdoctor. And he's really sort of put under a spell himself. And he's recorded the ritual. Well, eventually he'll regroup with the others, not realizing all the bad crap that just really took place to him. And on their way to another location, I'm afraid this is going to disappear in a minute. They end up, their car breaks down, or the Jeep breaks down, and of course, conveniently, a couple hikers are coming by. Well, they take them back to their plantation that they're trying to renovate. And the first night, Dick goes out there. He's got his little tape recorder, and of course, he's got wearing the little pension thing. And he goes out there, and he doesn't realize, I guess, or maybe it's the voodoo that's leading him out there, right? And he starts playing the ritual, and between the pendant or whatever this is, this little thing that he's got on his necklace, the tape recording, the symbol that's on his necklace that was given to him by the Witchdoctor. We got 6 zombies, man, that will come up. Now the artwork, which I think is freaking out of this world. I love this artwork, man. That is unlike a lot of the artworks. That scene is right out of the movie. To a point. I mean, you know, it doesn't look quite that extravagant, but he's there and he's almost on his knees. And of course, the spell has, the voodoo curse or spell, whatever, and they start to come up. And now what you really have is kind of a slow burn. These 6 zombies are basically just kind of making their way around this plantation, knocking off the people there one by one in sort of slow fashion. The effects, we got a couple eye gougings that are pretty reminiscent of Fulci, which is kind of cool. And, you know, the makeup, that's another thing. The makeup just wasn't, you know, it's too bad because, you know, Lenzi says in his interview, you know, there's some things working underneath the surface here. One is the main thing that he pushes forward in his interview is this idea of the third world avenging itself on, you know, the rest of the world that has sort of taken advantage of it throughout the centuries. And so, you know, there are some underlining themes here that he's trying to work out, but then again, it's just, as he says, a horror tale. And so it's sort of unfortunate that he didn't get the cast that he wanted, and it's unfortunate he didn't get more financial backing. And maybe it's unfortunate they just didn't film this thing in Rome. I'm not sure. But it just seems like in 91, this could have been a great preface to the great Della Morte Dell'Amore, of course, Cemetery Man, right? And then we would have, you know, sort of said our goodbye to the golden era once and for all to Italian cinema as it was, right? And so there's a lot here to have fun with, man. And I think I'm just going to pretty much just leave it there. We got the guy doing makeup who did also makeup on Opera, which is freaking cool. The composer, I think, did the music for Beyond the Door, which is pretty cool. And you know, the cinematography is pretty good. The thing that hurts it the most, though, is the cast. And Lenzi did not like this Sonia Curtis at all. In fact, he still, so many years later on this interview for Shriek show, still has nothing good to say about her. It's actually kind of sad. There it goes. It's kind of sad in a way. But not a lot of good memories, just a lot of regret. And it's unfortunate. Lenzi could have had something here. And he really, I think he felt deprived of it on a few fronts. And yet it's still one of his favorite ideas in the sense of how it was first conceived. And it's unfortunate when a director can't see these things realized, especially as we hit the 90s and we're saying goodbye to the golden era of Italian cinema. It's too bad. This couldn't have been a huge payoff for Lenzi first and foremost, because this was a project pretty near and dear to his heart. And that really does come through in the interview as well. So, Shriek Show in week 427. BodyBags is back on with a full cast. We'll try to keep that going as long as we can. And, you know, life always seems to have a bad sense of just kicking itself into gear from time to time. But then we'll see how long this lasts. But anyways, Lenzi, Love from Italy, Black Demons from 1991. Man, as always, we leave these things off with Go Bills.
This is not a dream. Not a dream.